Well, here we are. Today is the day. The first day that we're going to get on Ranger. Now we want to take him through all the steps he's done in the past. We've already lunged him. We kind of bounce around next to him. Make sure that he's ready. Now he has a stop. He's listening pretty good. That's good. He'll figure things out as we go along. We always want to make sure that he's sacked out to where nothing's bugging him. Because if it's bugging him, he may have a hard time if I get up there, because I'll even be more stressed in the environment. So we don't want anything else to stress him out as well. Then I want to go ahead and stand up on each side of him. We're going to start with his favorite side. And he got a little concerned, so I like to just step back down and tell him, see, it's still just me. I haven't changed any. And then step up again. And that time, I'm not going to get down, so he's learning that just because he moved, I'm not going to leave. The more movement we can do, then the more they're getting used to seeing us move. Then we'll get on the other side, same thing. I don't want him cheeked around, I want him to stand relaxed, but at the same time, I want to make sure that he is paying attention to me and not out in left field looking somewhere else. He says, I don't know what you think you're doing up there. Again, if we are too quiet and we just get up there on those horses, we're going to scare them when we do move. And we will. We'll have a bug up our nose. We'll have, anything can happen. Scratch our nose, sneeze. And if we've always been quiet, it's going to really spook them when we do those things. So we want to get them used to us moving around. I like to sit when I first get on. I never want to just jump on and try to chase him into something. But then I'm going to ask him to do something he already knows. I use inside leg, pull on his face, his reins a little bit, and cluck to him. Those are all things he already understands. He says, but I don't understand because you're up there. Good boy. He's getting it though. It's very common for a colt when you first get on and try to get him to move to not know what to do. And when they do move, they're not sure if they're moving right or if they should go faster or freeze up. And so we want to take time with them and show them that they're correct. There he goes. He's being a good boy. Then as he goes along, then I'll change sides, change my leg, and I'll look the direction I want to go. And keep rewarding him. Every time he gets worried, I just told him, it's okay, you can do this. And it's just like when we first started flagging him, we had really erratic steps. We have the same thing here, but we're just going to continue to ask the same way, and slowly but surely he'll free up those steps and he'll start moving like we'd like him to. There he goes. Now he's starting to flow a little bit better. Good boy, Ranger. And now to also help keep him moving is I like to move my hand up and down with the bridle rein in it, and therefore I can encourage them by swatting them, but at the same time they're getting used to something moving and touching them. I don't swat them every time. I want them to get used to it just coming up and down, and realizing it's okay. It's not going to smack them out of the blue and scare them into going. We're just going to show them how to go. And the more things we can do, pet his rear end, pet his shoulders, move around, wiggle our feet, move our reins. The more movement we do, the better he can accept us being up there. Good boy. I like to change my directions back and forth a lot. The first day I ride him, I don't get into wanting to go fast. I want him to relax. And then show him something he should already know, even though he's a little confused. Good boy. There you go. And talk to your horses. You'd be amazed at how much they'll respond if you talk to them. But remember to tell them when they're right, more so than when they're wrong. Because they can give you hundreds of wrong answers and only give you one right answer. So remember to reward them for that right answer so they remember that. If you yell at them all the time for the wrong answers, They'll remember those, and that's not what you want them to do. Good boy. It's very important to have them relaxed on their first ride, to be confident with you up there. Then in getting off, we've been sitting up there. We don't want to scare them by all of a sudden the saddle shifts and we, jump to the ground. So I like to move my saddle back and forth and prepare him for it. Good boy. And give him a big reward because he did great for his very first ride.
And this is Ranger's second ride.
Now the second day I bring him out, I start it just like the first. Get him to just free up and move. You can't ask for speed if you can't just get him to step around quietly. Once I've got him going there, then I go back to using my rein in my hand, and I encourage with my body. I speed up, I liven up, and then he'll liven up underneath me. Good boy. I like to keep working him in their circles because the fact that it's something I'm going to need is control. Good boy. And little spooks will happen. That's very common. But it's how you handle it. If you make a big deal out of it, or you lose your balance or fall off, then of course you're going to scare them. But if you can stay with them and just tell them you're okay, they'll get better and better. Good boy. And changing my directions, I always want to look with my body, change my legs, and then change his face. Always soft and smooth. And then I always push him with the inside rein, just like the inside leg, so he's looking into it. As he goes further along, I'll start using some outside rein, but right now I'd like him to always look in. Now on his third ride, we start again, just like we did before, but today he's coming out with the attitude of, I already kind of know this, I do circles and I have to speed up and carry you around, and it's just not that much fun. Ranger has so much personality that makes him a lot of fun, but at the same time, because of that personality, he wants to protest a little bit when he doesn't think that it's something he wants to do. And so that's what he did here. But I kept doing the same thing. I kept asking with my inside leg, asking with my inside rein, and finally he started to relax down and he turned and went that direction. But today he was definitely a little testier, a little grumpier, and personally he was getting bored with the arena, which is why I like to work my colts a variety of ways, including when we ponied him out earlier, and we'll want to get him out of the arena as soon as we can.
This looks like too much work.
We're asking him to lope, but he's not liking it. Here we go.
Good boy.
He decided to be a little spry there and try a little bit of a buck. You heard me say good boy. Again, it wasn't because he bucked, it was because he stopped bucking. We're just going to have to keep pushing him up. When you ask him to lope, it's in the same rocking motion as a buck, so a little bit of a crow hop buck is not uncommon at all. Personally, I think it's kind of funny. Just spells out the personality that he has, which makes him a very fun horse to work. Not necessarily a super easy horse, but a fun horse. Now you can see him loosening up. He's going around real nice. There he goes. Good boy. Now each day I continue to work on their stops, but being testy, he still didn't really want to stop today. He was fighting the reins and stuff, but instead of fighting him, I just held him, let him do the fighting, and then he gave, but my reins didn't tighten any. So he's like, okay, there's some release down here. There he goes. But when I kept at it and kept working him with it, pretty soon he had a decent stop. There he goes. And each day he'll get nothing but better.